Hello, my name is Maciel Castañeda, and this is my presentation on the topic of digital footprint for the class of Intro to Digital Studies. For this assignment, we were first asked to describe our chosen topic. What is digital footprint? Of all the topics we reviewed and discussed throughout this course, the one that interested me the most is the topic of digital footprint. A simple phrase to identify with this topic is, all of your interactions online add up to something called your digital footprint. A digital footprint is a record of all the data a person leaves behind online. This data can include information about a person's online purchases, social media activity, and browsing history. Everything you post to, comment on, and share online creates a trail that will always find its way back to you. Digital footprint should always be considered when online shopping, using apps, browsing the internet, posting, commenting, liking on social media, and chatting with any online messengers. Next, I will be describing why I chose digital footprint. The topic of digital footprint interested me the most because of its importance in the world. As the world has advanced in technology and media, I feel as if this topic is something that has become increasingly more important. I am passionate about this topic and believe more people should be educated on it. By doing this assignment, I hope people can become more aware of the dangers of keeping your digital footprint as clean as possible. As a user of social media, I know firsthand how easy it can be to look for information on people or topics you may have questions or interest in. Because, frankly, it is all out there. You can find friends, family, and mutuals by just a simple search. Everything can be found online now. Old pictures that were deleted, prior addresses, prior places of work, and family members. Digital footprints can also affect you in acquiring new job positions and future relationships. It affects how you can be perceived firsthand from the internet before real life. Next, in this presentation, I will be covering two scenarios that can be seen as real-life cases where digital footprint is portrayed. In this first slide, I will be covering scenario 1. The digital footprint, real-life scenarios where digital evidence can be incriminating. We are in the digital era. Any online actions can become pieces of evidence in a criminal case. These things can be known as digital evidence. For this first scenario 1, I will be covering social media posts contradicting alibis. In this following scenario, it can be described as, in a burglary case, an individual claimed they were at a friend's house at the time of a crime. However, the investigation revealed conflicting social media evidence. In these next parts, I will be discussing how social media and the posts and comments and location added to this crime. Tagged photos, location check-in, tagged posts, and comments and replies were the 4 major topics. The suspect was identified in photos on social media, with timestamps and location data placing them near the crime scene at the time of the burglary. Next, the suspect had checked in at a location near the crime scene just before the burglary was reported. This goes back to location check-in, where all locations can be found by the police, by detectives. Your phone goes everywhere you go, and anywhere you send messages or post pictures, you're able to tag locations, and all of those things are able to be found by police and anyone who is truly trying to find that information. The suspect posted photos in which they tagged the location. This indicated that they were near the scene of the crime. Finally, there were comments made on the post that showed the suspect was still at the party. This party was close to the scene of the crime, which puts them near it, and this aligned with the burglary timeline. Finally, this digital evidence directly contradicted the suspect's alibi. It placed them near the crime scene at about a relevant time that would have fit with when the time of the crime happened. It also highlighted the need for careful consideration of digital footprints in criminal cases and the importance of a thorough defense strategy that accounts for such evidence. Next, this is the part 2 slide in real life cases where digital footprint is portrayed. The digital footprint, real life scenarios where digital evidence can be incriminating. This is the second scenario where text messages reveal intent. In a drug trafficking case, an individual's involvement was brought to light through text messages. Law enforcement, with a legally obtained warrant, searched the suspect's phone and discovered incriminating evidence. Within this scenario, we will be covering the 4 few major points that were seen as the incriminating evidence points: conversations, meeting arrangements, trafficking jargon, and network connections. These 4 things were found through the suspect's phone, showing how text messages, although seen as something so simple, are also part of your digital footprint. Whether they are deleted, sent, then unsent, there's always a way to go back and find them, and they're able to track it back down to your phone number, where it came from, and what time you sent it. Text messages contained details about drugs, pricing, quantities, and transaction logistics. This outlined the intentions. Next, there were also details of where to meet and when. This aligned with locations of known dealers who were already under police surveillance. Next, the use of particular phrases and code words within the text matched language commonly linked to drug trafficking. Finally, the text linked the suspect to other individuals in the trafficking network. Finally, these text messages were presented a significant challenge for the defense, as they did offer clear and direct evidence of the suspect's involvement in drug trafficking. But the defense strategy in such a scenario, they would also need to carefully address the authenticity, relevance, and interpretation of these digital communications. Finally, in conclusion, I will be discussing how the cases I have covered come back into the topic of digital footprint. In criminal cases, a digital footprint is the data trail created by an individual's online activities. It serves as a vital source of evidence in the process of identifying suspects and solving the case. It enables investigators to track the movements of suspects, establish timelines, identify potential witnesses, and gather information that can either confirm or challenge alibis. This digital trail often plays a key role in solving crimes by offering concrete data that can be presented in court. I believe this ties back to the information covered in our course because it states how your actions online can always be traced back to you. All activity you do on the internet can be found and used against you if ever need be. Finally, to end this presentation, I have listed the 3 references that I used throughout my presentation. They truly helped me to better find information, better articulate the words I needed, and help me find all the information I needed to support my words of the topic on digital footprint.